What's up, nerds? I'm a giant child. I just got done taking your mom here. And today I'm using my dad's Nikon lenses. Well, one of my dad's lenses, one of my lenses. I'm using my dad's old Nikon 135, which is this. And then I also have a Nikon 28 millimeter that I bought just to like complement the set that he had. Back in the 60s, at some point, my dad bought a 35, a 50, and a 135 lens, along with like a Nikon F camera. I found them a couple years ago when I started getting into photography, bought an adapter, and I'm using it on my Canon 5D4. I bought a 28 millimeter lens kind of to go along with that set, because it's just a little bit wider, and kind of, that's what I like using. I realized that I never liked using Dad's 135. I didn't have a use for it. I wanted to change that about myself, and I wanted to force myself to use the 135. So that's what I'm doing today. But also, I really like the 28. I like how wide it is. It's a 2.8 aperture. This is only 3.5. I think I got it at 5.6, but I'm not sure because the aperture lever is actually broken in it. I just saw something cool, so I'm gonna move the car up and take a picture of it. How was that for a cold intro? Also, I don't have a good microphone set up. I don't have a wireless mic set up, so I'm recording audio on my phone in my shirt pocket. So I've got a problem, right? I only have one Nikon F to Canon EF adapter with me. I had another one and I thought about bringing it, and I thought about bringing it so much that I thought I brought it with me. If I'm taking a photo, I'm gonna use my 5D. And then if I'm taking video, obviously I'm using the 5D4, but I'm gonna try and denote, like if I'm using this Canon lens or one of my other Canon lenses, or if I'm using my Nikon lens, you're definitely gonna be able to tell. Like when I get home, I'll do a comparison between my 50 mils, and the lens coatings on them are so different that the 50 makes everything look pink. Like there's always a pink hue to it, especially when it's wide open. So I'm gonna take a picture of this thing in the water in here and then move on from here. So if I wanna step down the aperture, I gotta do it manually. I want to switch to the 28. That's what I thought would happen. I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional, right? And I've only even really started messing with cameras really about the beginning of 2022 when I started doing videos for my old card channel. But I like doing photography and I like making videos and I like talking about stuff. I like talking about my dad and my mom and how much I miss them. So might as well, you know, talk about this. I just like doing stuff. You know, I'm coming up on 4 years alcohol free too, so it's nice to have a new hobby besides getting loaded in the kitchen. So I'm gonna drive back into Tawny Town, I think, and try and grab some photos of some stuff. That's okay too. So that's, you know, straight out of the camera, no black mist filter, no ND filter, focused all the way in at f4. This is the 135, focused all the way in. I think you can actually focus past infinity with a Nikon lens on a Canon. There's just past infinity and there's backed up just a hair. So infinity, backed up a hair. Yeah, so I never really do talking head stuff with the 135 because it is, well, I never do talking head stuff with the 135 because it is so difficult for me to use. It's just, it doesn't focus very close. Like I think the closest it focuses is 5 feet, maybe a little bit closer, but it's not very good at it. And then at that point, like all you see is like this part of my face. I hope you see more of my face right now. I'm trying to get better about using it. I've used a 28 or a 50 for so long that I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know if I'll ever really get into using it for video like this, but it is, you know, something interesting to do. So let's do it, why not? Am I gonna see them? I think they're too far. I do like the 28 a lot because focus ring basically stops at 15 feet. So anything after 15 feet will all be in focus just about. So if I set it anywhere away from me, I can just turn to that, pull the notch back just a little bit because, you know, like it's a little funky with the Nikon lens, and then just be in focus almost everywhere, especially if I shoot it like an f4. Now this lens does have a little scratch on the front of it. That's fine. I'm not like shooting a movie or anything. So just some of my shots, if there's light pointing at it, you'll see a little something on the top left corner of the screen. That doesn't really bother me. I've been using it less and less since I got my 28mm Canon lens, you know, earlier last year, or late last summer. And then I have a 50mm Canon lens that I also use. The autofocus is a big help when you're by yourself. But I shot a whole video, I think on just my 28 or my 50 last year, a bunch of my car stuff, and it worked pretty good. In fact, I did almost no color grading because I just used the landscape setting on my 5D too. And it worked for me. Yeah, I'm not going in there, don't worry. BG&E will put me on the high voltage lines if I go in there. I don't think I showed video of what the 28 looks like, but kind of looks like this. There's a fucking deer right there. If I had the 135 and the 5D, but the 28, easily one of my favorite lenses to shoot with doing video. I'm gonna bring my 5D over here, take some pictures, and then I'm gonna go home. This was worth it. I'm glad I came this way home today. And now I know that I look properly out of focus because it's focused to infinity and I'm getting pretty close. And right now I'm just at the other side of the car. I don't know how to finish this other than saying, you know, force yourself to use lenses that you're not familiar with, because then you can get familiar with them. I think my dad would have liked the 5D a lot. You know, my dad was a really good photographer. Not pro or anything, like, you know, but better than me. He also had a lot of good subject matter to take photos of. This lens is not great. There's lots of aberration in it, but it is a fun lens to use. I think more fun than I gave it credit for. So that's good.